he, my wife, and myself were sitting over cups of coffee, our friend described his recent experiences in Beirut, and particularly the last terrible days of incessant Israeli bombardment of the city. At the end, he narrated to us a curious incident. She looked at me but did not seem to see me, and stared unblinkingly ahead of her. I thought that she was wounded or ill, and asked her in my broken, rudimentary Arabic, "Can I help you? She appeared to focus her eyes on me but did not answer my question. Instead, she nodded repeatedly and said, "They were fighting for Al-Quds." At that point of his narrative, our Swiss friend looked inquiringly. Al-Quds, I know, means Jerusalem in Arabic, but Jerusalem in Beirut? I cannot understand it to this day. Could she have meant the first? Most of them were Muslims, but there were many Christians among them as well, and I know that Jerusalem is sacred to both of them. Or did she perhaps mean the Israelis? She looked as if her words had been forced out of her. It is to resolve my friend's perplexity and to answer his question that I am writing these lines. As for myself, I have no doubt that the old woman had been referring to the Muslims, of whom she herself was obviously one, implying that they had been fighting for a cause that was sacred to them. But it is also possible that without knowing it, she instinctively gave utterance to the historic truth that the fight in and around Beirut was in a sense a fight for Jerusalem. Or rather, there is no denying that Jerusalem is sacred to the followers of all the three monotheistic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. But there is a marked difference in their considerations of the reason for this city's sacredness. What about the Muslims? The Muslim attitude towards Jerusalem is at once ideological and historical. Ideological because it is based on the Quran, and historical because it arises from the fact of continuity in mankind's religious experience, which is a basic tenet of the Islamic faith. These elements have been clearly alluded to in the first verse of the 17th Surah of the Quran, that the city as a whole would forever remain the eternal capital of the State of Israel. This undisguised return to the Old Testament conception of Jerusalem as the exclusive patrimony of the Jewish people betrays, of course, a total disregard of a most important lesson of history and philosophy. The lesson that in human affairs there is no such thing as never or always or forever, and that eternity is an attribute to God alone. Since Jerusalem is universal in its religious significance and cannot therefore be conceded as a patrimony to any one nation, is it not probable that its political destiny too will not be decided in the city itself, but elsewhere, not in and by an Israeli parliament, but in a far wider arena? This perhaps the meaning of the visionary words which the old woman sitting amidst the ruins of Beirut spoke in the hearing of my Swiss friend. They were fighting for Al-Quds.